You like that intro there?
I'm all jacked up. I love it. Great job, Nick.
I figured he was a Rocky fan too, so let's keep the Rocky IV theme going today.
Well, he's a little bit of a newbie to Philly, but he's been indoctrinated. Right, Trible?
Yeah, I'm not exactly running through the streets and up the stairs, if you know what I mean.
In your old gray sweatsuit.
Yeah, I'm running past the burning barrel in the Italian market.
Oh man! So end of debate here. Rocky IV, good movie or bad movie?
I thought it was a good movie.
Yes.
I only saw it once, but I thought it was a good movie.
It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just not in terms of the actual cinematic aspects of it. It's not a good movie,
Right.
but I enjoy it. Come on, I enjoy it.
It's Academy Award winner. Come on.
Stop it.
Well, I would side more with Nick on this one. I mean,
There we go. See?
It's not Rocky 1.
Exactly. It's not
certainly.
Rocky 1. It's not Rocky Balboa. It's not Creed.
Have you seen Creed
but
2 yet?
Still worth the price of admission.
That's right.
Mark, have you seen Creed 2 yet?
No, I haven't seen it. How was it?
I haven't seen it either yet.
We haven't seen it. I gotta go watch it.
Nobody's seen it. Let's make that. Maybe that'll be our discussion next week. That's our homework assignment. We'll all go watch Creed 2.
I meant to go see it over the Thanksgiving break, but didn't get out to see it. I haven't been to the movies in like 6 years, maybe. I think the last movie I saw in the movie theater was American Sniper, whenever that came out. What was that, 2012
well,
or
it cost
something
you an arm
like
and a
that?
leg to go, Sully. So I hope you. Clearly, you've been saving some money. Christmas time. I don't know if I can afford to go to the movies.
So you're not asking me on a date then? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not. I enjoy your company, Sully, but not that much.
Not on a Saturday night?
No.
In an intimate setting?
No.
Yeah,
Certainly not.
Money's tight around the holidays, man. How many people you got on your list?
I keep thinking of more and more. I have 7 nieces and nephews.
I got
keep
17 of
remembering
them.
nieces and nephews. Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! What do you do? What do you get these kids?
Well,
Gift
nine
cards?
of
I guess
them
that's easy.
live out of state, so and some of them are older, so they're kind of by proxy they're not really on the list. But I got some younger ones here in Jersey, so kind of you're just going around trying to find some interesting stuff for them.
Well, I mean,
The good thing is a lot of them are.
I think you could still send them a gift card, Sully.
Well, the good thing is a
I'm
lot of them are
campaigning
into
for them.
sports, so that kind of makes it easier.
Why don't you give them a subscription to
The Courier Post.
Glory Days Online? I know there's not a Glory Days magazine anymore. I heard that this is the end of that. It's going online. Is that right?
Yeah, man. But unlike some other publications, we don't have a paywall.
Hey,
Hey,
all right. I got to eat, you know.
That's true, man. I'll give him a subscription to the Courier Post.
Oh, that'd be great. I'll shout them out. But 19, man, that's unbelievable.
17.
Well, 17 is 19, basically. When you're talking about
Basically, yeah.
kids. Yeah.
15 nephews and 2 nieces. We're like the Philip Rivers of New Jersey, Arizona, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'd say so, man. Goodness gracious.
How about Philip Rivers? Where he's working on his 9th kid or something like that?
I don't know, man, but he might be working on his
kids.
first Super Bowl this year.
You're not kidding, man. I kind of missed the Thursday night game. I was doing a bunch of work and caught the highlights, and I was like, geez, I didn't even realize this game was on, and go for 2 with 4 seconds left. That's awesome. Gutsy.
Yeah, I had the fortune to turn it on for, I think, 4 plays, and it was the last 4 plays of the game. And I saw everything I needed to see. I mean, I turned it on, and, man, it was an incredible finish.
So what's going on in Mark Trible's world?
Just getting ready for wrestling, Sully, of course, and the holidays, and, just kind of recalibrating for the winter season. It seems it's always difficult to shift away from football, as fun as that is, but wrestling's great, too, and one of my favorites to have ever covered. So to get out there and see some matches, I'll probably start trying to get out next week and see what's going on. I know it opens up today, but yeah, we'll see, man. It should be a lot of fun. should be good to be a part of it again. Such a great community, a lot of historic rivalries, a lot of kids that really have a shot at doing some damage this year down Atlantic City, and just tremendous fan bases. So I love it. The Mad Pack is back.
Who was your favorite or funniest football interview this year?
Favorite or funniest football interview?
I think Isaiah Rakes has to be up there, right?
Yeah, Rakes is up there. Geez, there were so many. I don't know. All the kids really were great. Tyreek Brown of Pensgrove is a personal favorite. Was just a great kid. Always has a lot to say and is always pretty funny. Yeah, I think certainly he's up there. He's up there. And he's a wrestler too, Sully.
Oh, so, is he? Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he finished fifth in the state last year at 220 pounds. So, he could do some damage again this year. Tyreek is quite an athlete.
So, Mark, what's your impression of the girls wrestling? I guess their first dual meet in state history for girls wrestling took place yesterday, and man, what a cool thing! And I know a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week or two ago, NJ.com did a big story on Kingsway. They got 40 girls out for the team, so it seems like it's catching on pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think that there have been girls who've wrestled in the past, certainly on boys teams, and that's kind of the way it's gone. I think it's great that you open up and say, look, we're going to have girls wrestling now, because not only are they going to have a chance to perform individually in their own bracket at the end of the year, but what you're doing is you're opening up a pathway for more and more people to feel comfortable to wrestle, which is great. And that can't be overstated, Sully. The numbers in wrestling have gone down every year, and it's such a great sport to see the hand be outstretched to girls as well, and say, hey, look, this sport is specifically for you, and then the participation follows. I think it's great. I think it's going to keep growing, and certainly in popularity, and I just think that was one of the very good ideas that we've seen here recently.
I was thinking this week about some of the girl sports I've covered, and trying to think of some athletes who would be some good wrestlers. Man, Reese Bloomstead, our field hockey player of the year, she'd be a little beast in the wrestling room, I think. There's a lot of girls, when you see them out playing different sports, you're like, I can see that girl being a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah, there have been a number of really tough kids I've covered, mostly for girls sports. It's usually softball for me, but there have been a number of tough kids. If you remember Nicole Wisser, she could do just about anything, yeah. I think, athletically from EHT. So I just think it's great, Sully. I really do. And to see the numbers kind of jump early on in this whole thing is certainly encouraging.
Have you heard, Mark, from any of your wrestling coach contacts about any official teams coming together, or is it more just maybe one or two girls in a room trying to get a little bit of knowledge about the sport?
Well, I haven't quite understood it entirely, but the best that I can, Sully, is I believe that they could compete on just the varsity team, but then at the end of the year for the individual stuff, the girls will have their own bracket. Now, that could be wrong. I do know they'll have their own bracket at the end of the year individually.
So, like, for instance,
on that other part.
For instance, if there's two teams in a boys' dual match or whatever, and there happens to be two girls in the same weight class, they can go ahead and wrestle that night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if that's what the matchup is. And I think that's been the case, right? I mean, we've had girls wrestling, so I would say that has been the case.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be cool to see how it plays out, and to see if there's any. There might even be some girls, in the next couple of weeks who say, "Hey, I'm kind of seeing the interest in this. Let me try to come out and see what I could do in January and February." So I'm sure it's going to keep evolving, not only this year but in the years to come.
Sully, there could be somebody listening to this program right now that's saying, "Man, I'm listening to Dave Sullivan talk about girls wrestling. I think I'm going to go try out for the team." So if you are listening right now, go try out for the team.
Yeah, talk to your high school wrestling coach, see if there's a way you can get in there and start at least learning the basics and it's a great way to stay in shape. Obviously, you know these boys and what they go through to get their bodies in great shape, and I think it's a cool thing. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to reach out to some wrestling coaches soon and see if there's any girls in the Shore area showing an interest in it.
It's funny, Sully, with wrestling, I've never met anybody who said, my kid was really on track to be a great athlete, or a kid to say, I was going to be first team All-South Jersey and this, that, or the other. But then I started wrestling, and I got worse as an athlete. Right. I've never heard that one time. So, there's a lot of people that don't wrestle or don't consider it. And believe me, I know, because I was one of them in high school. I played basketball. The last place you'd ever find me would be in a wrestling room. That being said, for football players, it's just such a way to improve your stamina, your footwork, your endurance. I just wish more people competed in it rather than the kids who don't do anything in the winter, or, it's, nothing against winter track, but you get to run track in the spring too, right?
Right.
So, let's get out on the mats. That's what I'm saying. So this is my plea for some higher numbers next year.
Well, Mark, I saw you tweeted out last night about a great match coming up. I guess it's later in the season. Paulsboro, Bergen Catholic, man. This is some real big boy wrestling.
Yeah, and you never know how the injuries and all will play out, Sully, and hopefully there are none. But right now we can say, I would say definitively, that's going to be probably that will be the meet of the year in New Jersey in terms of a dual meet. Bergen Catholic will be number one, most likely. They've been there, pretty much the last half of the decade. And this is one of Paulsboro's best teams it's been quite some time, I would say 10, 15 years since they've had a team this strong. So really they could be, I think they are the best public team in the state, looking at it all on paper. And the two of them are going to go at it. It's going to be at the Palestra in Philadelphia,
nice.
February 2nd. And that's going to be in between a doubleheader of Penn wrestles Brown, I believe, at 1.
Oh,
and then they
CJ LaFregola.
Harvard. That's right. Absolutely. And then they're going to wrestle Harvard at 6. And in between there will be Paulsboro and Bergen Catholic.
That's awesome.
It should be a great event.
Right in your backyard there, man.
Yeah, I know. I used to live over in West Philly. It would be a lot easier then. But now it's still a pretty short commute. I could take the bike if I need to.
Nice. Hey, Mark, Billy Schweim just walked in, host of The Locker Room. He's a big Collingswood guy. Give us the lowdown on Collingswood wrestling.
Well, Coach Declan Moody does a great job over there. And, personally, the guy to watch this year is Andy Clark. He's a junior. I think he's also quarterback of the football team. Andy does a great job. He's really, really been a kind of a star from day one that he walked in, and Collingswood always seems to have one of those guys that just kind of each year grows and grows and grows, and by the end is participating for a state championship. I think Andy should certainly be on the podium this year. Not exactly sure the weight. I would say somewhere between 26 and 45. But Andy Clark, certainly I would watch out for him.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great,
that's the
Billy.
Schweimer.
How you doing?
Hey, Mark, we have a mutual friend in Brett Fetty.
Yeah, Brett's a great guy.
You do some work with him with that wrestling show.
Yeah, and we're going to get that thing fired back up here soon, hopefully on the mat where we do the Facebook Live show. Yeah, Brett knows his stuff, man. He certainly is a wrestling aficionado.
Mark, we're up against the break. Got to let you go, but keep your notebook handy. Get some names rolling. I know these wrestling people; they all want to know all the names. So we'll dive more into it in the next couple of weeks and talk about some of these early season events.
Hey, you got it, Sully. Have a good weekend, man.
You too, Mark.